single page codes. Front balance sheet, the top, the bottom, and one voucher. On the other side is the checking account report, and at the bottom is the savings. I had to add $1,500. It went to the request fund. And so I had to change it and put it in here. So the total, and then I'm off $124.74. I'll find that eventually. Okay, that's the codes. We got 47 district vouchers, 10 credit card vouchers, 1 overtime, and 2 codes. Pretty much it, except January starts a new payroll company called Firehouse Payroll instead of Paycheck. We're also changing over QuickBooks Online from QuickBooks Desktop. That's happening in January. And that's pretty much all I have. Oh, and the budget versus actual shows the changes we made from this sheet where we had to change the line items last month.
On the referendums,
Yep.
number 10.
Yep.
Do we think that we could close out the referendum to purchase the rescue pumper in June 11?
You asking me? I'm sorry.
Asking everybody, I guess.
Which one?
It would be this one,
Number 4.
engine 11, which is here.
That's what I'm
How do you know it's 11? How do you know it's 11?
Well, because the other one is the one that isn't, it hasn't arrived yet.
But you paid something on the other one. That's why I was wondering.
It would be number 8, wouldn't it?
8 is the new one.
No, that's the new
Yeah,
one.
Number 8 is the new one,
Okay.
yes.
Right.
I wonder if we're, if we're done equipping the present 11, if we could close that out.
If they're done.
Why don't we wait till the chief's here to see if he's done with it? And we can
Okay.
maybe do it, what do we, again, next week?
Okay, well, your end meeting is certainly.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, any questions for the treasurer? I like the lines on the voucher.
Yeah, they're a little different. I like the last one's better. I gotta figure out how I did that though. They're cleaner. Last month, remember, they just were a straight line across. This month's got the horizontal ones, and I don't know which is better. But yes, thank you.
And on Wednesday, I'll go in and check the New York class balances.
Okay. They're all on page 8, all of them, instead of doing separately, they're all there in that one.
Bill, I got a quick question. On 15, Goodyear Auto Service Center, inspection 6. Is that 6 inspections?
I'm sorry, I'm still, page 15. What was it again, Carter?
Midpoint, Goodyear Auto Service Center.
Yep. Oh, yes, 6 vehicles were inspected.
Divide that by 6.
It's more, there was
there's
work done too.
Work done too, some had to repair.
I heard tires, oil changes, some other things.
Yeah.
Okay.
The inspection's
And,
like 20 to 26 bucks, something like that.
Pardon me?
The inspection is only like 20 to 26 bucks, something like that.
Right, but,
There was work too,
and other, okay.
yeah.
On the heavy equipment such as the 2 squads, those shouldn't be fully charged for the state inspection because of their weight. They
They're
should
in,
be
they're in
eliminated.
with the vouchers, I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
The heavy ones went to.
No,
Tri-Team.
no, but I believe squad 1, squad 2, due to the weight of the vehicle,
Yeah,
they go over the certain limit and they only charge for, they don't have to do the additional.
it's in with the
Squad one,
vouchers, the
squad two,
charges, I don't remember.
Rescue 2, yes.
Right, then I believe squad 1
They're just pickups. And does your pickup truck,
My son's up 250, exceeds it. And he doesn't have to do the emission test. So he's only charged like $10 for that weight.
See a diesel?
No,
No, there was only one for $21, all the rest are more. 117, 1,700.
It was.
There's
Yeah, but that's-
tires, oil change.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's in the middle of the bill, the inspection fee. It's not
Oh, okay.
broken down.
and there's the possibility in there of some winter tires, some oil changes, the inspections. I've got new batteries, I've got tie rods,
yeah,
all of that stuff.
right.
Okay.
Okay, that was your truck maintenance report.
Thank you.
Well, you'll see all that when you get the voucher.
Yeah.
Any further questions for the clerk? Is there a motion to approve the treasurer's report? Chura and Harrison. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Who made the motion and second that?
Michael.
Harrison second.
Oh, okay, I can't hear, I'm sorry.
Motion to approve the vouchers as audited. Chura and Harrison seconds. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Bank statements are, I do them this long?
Yes.
Okay, and as I indicated, I will also I'll verify the New York class statement. And the closeout of progressive referendums, we'll refer that to here on board meeting. Correspondence.
The fire district elections were held on December 10th. There were 70 votes cast, 20 for Jonathan Hagemeyer, 49 for Michael Malone, and 1 write-in. Michael Malone was elected commissioner starting in January 1st, 2025. We received holiday cards from Auctions International, Schaefer Building, our new payroll company, Firehouse Payroll. And then today we got a letter in the mail. The New York State Department of Environmental Conservation has completed the grant process, and we have been awarded $2,500. So and it's matching, so we have to spend 2,500, they match at 2,500, and that has to be completed by December 31st, 2025. So we have time for that. So good news there. And that's all I've got.
Okay. Chief's report. Chief Gleason is not here. Is Chief Melchior giving his report?
I am. Good evening, everyone. Purchase request that we've got going on, the foreign supply hose, shipping out later on next year. And we're trying obviously to figure that out. And I said we got some line turnout here that we're trying to try it out. It's coming soon, April 2025. EMS bags that we discussed last meeting, they have been ordered and we're still waiting for them to come in. We'll swap them out as soon as we can.
They came in today, actually.
Cool. They came in today, which is awesome. And we got the one demo bag right now on squad 1. And we're still working on that smoke machine. I know that we were talking about the last night, trying to get that squared away for training. The communications part, the cool thing about this is Chief Gleason met with Chief McNair Northwest. We're talking about developing some joint training, including officer development and working on incident command and communication model together. That kind of goes along with our 91 model we've been talking about, trying to get training and education and qualifications up on the same level and the same par. So working together on the training and working on the officer development will be helpful. And I also spoke to, on the same token, I spoke to Chief Belzak, and we're going to work and meet together on their new employee orientation. So they've got one coming up soon. He invited me to come watch it so we can see how they're bringing in new members. The EMS coordinator position description, discussions going back and forth with commissioners and chiefs. Still working on to get that squared away so we can move ahead after, if there's approval or edits, we can move ahead.
So do you think we're ready to approve that, or are there, I know there's been a discussion back and forth, are we waiting for a final?
As the email stated, what I felt, I think there's still some other questions that I would like to address with the chief, just to get some clarification. Those are my thoughts.
Did you guys have line officers meeting last night?
We did, sir.
Okay. I don't know where that falls on the schedule. I was just wondering.
It would fell on the 15th, and I believe next month it's on the 12th of January. So we just, I can talk about that now since it's going to merge in there anyways, but working on the image trend fire portion was one of the things we worked on last night, discussing how it's going to come along and how the officers are involved in recording the incidents that are occurring on fire, just like EMS does for the EMTs, the PCR. So we initially showed it to all of us, how it's going to look, what our responsibilities are through that, and it'll be out hopefully sometime in January-ish when it gets ready.
You do know long-term planning trumps the line officers meeting, right? For the 12th.
I'll try my best.
We'll see what we can do to.
He has to be at both too.
Yeah, if you
I know,
can,
all half of you guys are at both, so.
if you guys can have the same room, I'll try to listen one ear on each as best they can. So let the chief know that we're needing more discussion on the on the EMS coordinator position.
Well, do we feel that way? How many people want to vote on it tonight?
I can vote on it tonight. I'm not sure what other discussion is out there that may have occurred last night. But my personal opinion is you have somebody that needs to fill this position that has to have some qualifications. More than half of this board doesn't have those qualifications to decide on who can make those decisions. So I don't think it's really in our spot to make that decision. But we should know of the position and give the chief the okay to do so. With what he's put out there, there's no stipends, there's no extra bonus points, there's nothing else. What we lack that I see is this is going to be a position that has to work every week to maintain stuff, order stuff, keep supplies up. if we get bogged down in the bylaws of that department, where we're gonna send them letters and everything else, and you gotta be good in 3 months and everything, nothing will get done with this position, and you'll have outdated stuff and whatever. The way I see it and the way I interpreted the way it was written, this individual is going to produce. And if it's not to the chief's satisfaction, the chief can replace the person then and there with somebody else, and the system isn't broken. They can keep moving forward. That was my thought on it, my take. If somebody has something else, please share.
What do you think, Charlie? Are you ready to vote on it?
Doesn't matter to me, I'm in favor of it also. I agree with Mike. I think that if somebody wants to step up and is capable of doing it, it's going to be additional work for someone, so I'd say yeah, absolutely. We entrust everything in the chief. So he answers to us, they answer to him. It's that simple. I'm in favor.
Mark? I mean, I would just say this,
Yep.
that if we approve it, doesn't mean that it can't be tweaked down the road. But,
Yep.
go ahead.
No, like there were some wording in the original documentation I had some question on. Who, the eligibility, qualifications were some of the questions I had on it. There are some other, I don't think this is the right spot to bring it up, so I'm not going to bring it up at this meeting here. But other avenues that I see that we could also be heading, that we could use some of our career staff for, to help maybe fill in these spots.
Yeah.
I requested information, I did not get it, so I could make a decision on it.
I think that request was made yesterday, so
It was.
pretty short notice. And actually, most of that information you already have. The chief's, the civil service listing of the chief's duties and firefighter EMT duties. And, but, I'd be glad to
I
say.
understand the importance of this position. My only concern was having it dedicated to one individual. My feelings were that we have, whether it's volunteer or paid, doesn't matter. So I thought one person being dedicated to that position would create possibly a backlog. And we have people here 24/7 who could take care of this after a run. At most, 1-2 calls a day. I think the paid staff that's here 24/7 could input these reports and could do more of these checks to make sure we had everything. My problem was paying someone additional to what we already, the $600,000 a year we put on personnel, adding more to it for this position when we have people in-house who can do it. And I think it collectively, everyone working together on this, especially we have a volunteer who put her heart and soul in creating that EMS room. And I think collectively would work better. What if someone doesn't work here anymore? What if someone isn't volunteering here anymore? And to put that all on one person is a lot. That was where I was going with by submitting my request.
My thought was that person coordinates, doesn't necessarily do all the work, that, the paid staff certainly can feed information to her or him. But doesn't mean that that person has to physically do all the work.
But then how does that look? What if their career staff handing it off? Are they going to get paid additional helping out this coordinator? That was my thing. There's so much going
I
out
don't think that was in the,
in payroll the past couple of years because we've added career staff. To add more to that, especially in these times where, people are having trouble making ends meet and to keep boosting up our budget for this.
I thought the thing said that the EMS coordinator, if it was a career person, would be compensated for the time that they put in when they were not working.
Right, and I'm just thinking right now, you know, how many days is that a month? Are they really here they're working, 2, maybe 3 times a month?
But if they're the coordinator, not if they're feeding information to the coordinator, they wouldn't be getting any pay.
That was my concern.
Partial of what you're saying, in my email, I want to stay away from the compensation as much as possible, whether it's paid or you get 25 points or whatever. Stay away from those bonus things. And after the last month's meeting, mentioning that, preference was hopefully going to go to a volunteer person if they had the credentials. And the reason I prefer that is if everything gets given to the paid staff, you will have volunteer staff doing nothing. They're going to say, what am I here for if I can't help? So my preference is to try to steer it to them first versus, I know that you have people sitting here that can do it, but if the volunteers say, what am I here for? They're not part of the organization anymore. And this is one thing where, a person can still participate, and we used to have an assistant chief do this. And that, if that works, I'm not saying the individual did a bad job, but if that worked super well with us, we'd still have an assistant chief doing it. It's kind of expanded, and this may take the burden off some other people. And again, if it doesn't work, the chief can always throw it back.
So I think right now, I would favor moving it forward. So why don't, I'll make the motion that we approve the EMS coordinator position description with the understanding that there may be some revisions after further discussion with the chief. That's
After Mark meets with them and, can get whatever tweaks he'd like.
But at least we can get it moving forward. It can be tweaked. So I make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So,
Mark?
until I get my questions.
Mark's opposed and Diane's abstaining.
Yeah.
Got that, Amy? Okay, so the motion's carried. So at least we'll get moving forward on that, but there will be further discussion and probably some changes. Okay, back to.
So the chief office thanks you for that motion and getting that moving forward. The next thing we got scheduled is January 16th. Our Dave Eef is coming back to start working on mission, vision, values. Mark sent out an email over the weekend to give some people some chance to think about it. I followed up with some ideas of what some of that stuff looks like, because I'm sure most people don't even have a clue what it looks like,
Right.
which is
Some
fine.
people have responded back so far.
Perfect.
So I'll keep a tally of all, I'll print them all out when it's time for it.
And like I said, we'll work towards that meeting on January 16th. It's a Thursday night meeting. So
We'll be here.
it'll be here, correct? Yep. So we, like I said, we have this. We had our meeting last night. One of our things we did discuss was the like I said, fire side of image trend coming out real soon, and our responsibilities to it. I've got some more notes to the meeting. I'll write them up and I'll put them on Power DMS for you to read. So, so that's where the officer meetings go to. Like, so hopefully you guys get a chance to read the Power DMS. I've also talked to members, make sure they understand what's going on with that too. Chief right now is working on development of the natural gas and the CO guidance. He's working on that. He's going to develop the incident management plan, and then we're going to have a training on it when it comes out. So we've got a couple ideas what we're going to do for us, and we're trying to customize them. So, and then so next thing here, any questions for Chief Gleason's report?
When you're talking in Northwest, about communications and everything else, I don't know how much luck you're gonna have, but the big catastrophe is gonna be Central River. You may wanna try to invite them. I don't know if they're gonna show or not, but involve them. Because if they have something big, we're going. Whether they participate, with Northwest, because Northwest is going there also. They haven't in years, maybe they'll turn around, but at least they're all invited to be good.
Got a call, sorry.
It's a wrap.
Interesting.
You know who it is, right?
It says 45-year-old male, so I'm not sure.
I drove by him, and it looks like the usual.
We're just waiting for the sirens.
Yeah, I know what's gonna happen, so. All right. Just getting ready to go. So I'd like to thank you all for the purchase of the thermal imagers. Chief's Beach was in the process of getting them programmed and getting out to the stations earlier this week when the call came in, and they actually went into use within minutes of their deployment. And they were also used again at the Oneida Street fire too for the appliance fire. So they were taken in, they actually are able to take still pictures so we can actually see what goes on the camera and bring it back out of the house. So thank you very much. The new cameras are out in the stations and out in the trucks. There'll be some movement of the older cameras around and coming off the trucks and being utilized in different methods. We have a plan to put the old ones into place. So any questions for Chief's Beach on thermal imager cameras? And so for mine, I've got two things. I'll go with the training summary first real quick. So again, we had last Thursday we had a meeting, a training, and in the training we were able to get almost 100% coverage on the CPR for the department, which is great. We had a couple of refreshers, a couple of brand new students got through the CPR class, almost 100% for the department, which is awesome. We were also able to get almost 100% of the EMTs covered on their 2024 trauma skills that are required by CNY EMS, so that we have that documentation and they've had a chance to go through their skills for trauma, which is awesome. And then on top of that, we also were able to get the rest of the people in, and we were able to get most of the harnesses swapped out to belts, which gets, I think, just about every one of our interiors caught up to that, and some of the exteriors are working on getting theirs swapped out. And Amy was kind enough to keep track of all that stuff. We have like 2 additional belts left, and that's about it. So we've got some of those things done, and we're just kind of wrapping up some of our activities for the year, so that was good. And then my other piece to this is the definition of an active member. So for me, the department worked on trying to get the bylaws changed so that they tried to, with the help of Amy, get a new definition in, so that not only calls but also duty shifts for the people that would count to make them active. However, we need to, in my opinion, now meet with the district to try to finish up their policy and see if we can come to agreement, because I have members that are trying to figure out how to be active with the notification that they got, and they're trying to get squared away. We have an option, but that option doesn't actually, it's not covered currently in the policy for the district. So I'm just curious if we can discuss it or meet and try to get that figured out so that.
What's missing, because we have a duty crew.
Well, it would be the membership review policy.
Right.
What's that?
The membership review policy addresses the percentage, it doesn't address hours.
Oh, I see.
Right. giving people options. And the thing, in my opinion, what we've done is when we went combination and we have people in-house here 24/7, we need to consider the fact that, like I said, as you already mentioned, times that the people responding to calls from their house may or may not get the call, so sometimes they feel that why bother if there's already people there, someone's already going, why should I put the effort? So for people that are putting the effort in and by doing duty shifts here, they do a lot of hours, they can do a lot of good things, but by your policy 42, it's not actually considered active right now. So just a conversation, if we can find some middle ground to address that.
So let me answer that, since I was in charge of that. I'm working on that policy. That policy, along with multiple others that interlock with that, are being modified, okay? Again, as you said, this wasn't, when that policy was originally written way back in 2019, I think it was, we didn't have paid staff. These things weren't looked at back then. So again, that policy interlocks with multiple other policies. I'm in the process of working on all of that and should have it up for approval by January at some point in time. So again, with the department, how is the department working on that? What steps are they doing? I hear you said that they were working on the bylaws, and last year, this year, nothing really of any significance came of it. I think that's why 00024 became 42, 42 came about, because nothing happened. And again, this past year, nothing happened. So we're trying to work with you. We understand that there are people that come here for a period of time and hang out and do not get any credit for it other than a standby point, and yet they're lacking in their fire calls or their BMS calls. So that's something that we're looking at. That's something that I'm looking at, that we're moving towards rectifying. The other thing is, have these people that are in such negligence, have they done anything in the past 6 months, year? No, they haven't. They haven't. So we're working, trying to retain these people, and yet these people are not trying to show any initiative to be part of the team. We don't want to get rid of them, we want to keep them, but if they don't want to cooperate, they don't want to help, they don't want to respond, why should we keep them? So it goes both ways. So yes, we're trying to retain, yes, we're working on that, yes, we're trying to make advancements, improvements on the policies, but it's a two-way street. We need to see some initiative on these people that have 0 calls, that have a couple calls. I mean, if it was a job and you did that, how long would you last? Not long.
Well, I guess I'll get in trouble for speaking to this, but I spoke with the current president. She, on the last business meeting, asked for someone to step up, take care of the bylaws. I asked her to do that. She said I could do it. I spoke to the future president, and I believe he gave his blessing also to go forth and get this organized. In my mind, this has to be done. We haven't done the bylaw changes that we need to do, and my goal is to get as many people involved in the department and the district to get this over with. So it's not a surprise. It's all ready to go, and we can move forward.
The bylaws have been a sore subject for many years, and what's happened is that's why a lot of these policies came into effect, because nothing happened with the bylaws. The bylaws were shot down. Legally, you're a 501, the department's a 501c3 corporation, they have to have bylaws. They don't have to be as cumbersome as they currently are, so they need to be redefined, modified, collapsed, and updated. So I'm willing to help you, work with you on modifying the bylaws, and I think that it's a big step, that we need to make that modification.
So one of the things I'm going to do with permission from the new president is we're going to have bylaw meetings on a regular occurrence, not on when we can. It'll be happening whether I'm there or not, but it'll happen. It will not be on the 12th, I apologize, I'm kind of busy
They
that day.
added it to the 12th.
So, maybe in the afternoon on the 12th, we'll see how it goes, but like I said, I'm gonna try, and like I said, I've spoken to a lot of people, and they've all said, we would be glad to support you and help you, we just don't wanna be in charge of it. And like I said, in my mind, it needs to get addressed. I've talked to other people in the department who said that a lot of the people would love to see it done, it needs to be done, it's way overdue. So like I said, in my mind, let's just get it started and see where we go.
Unfortunately, every time you fix something, you complicate it more.
Correct.
And complicate another area. So somebody said maybe we should just look at starting
And
from
you know what?
scratch.
And my goal is, when we get to that first meeting, whoever's in the room, and everybody says, go do that, we may do that. But when we get back to the business meeting, when I go, hey, we're gonna do that, everybody says, no, we don't want to. I'm gonna look at everybody in the room and going, we all agreed on this, let's get moving on it, so we can just get it going. And like I said, if that's what it takes, that's fine, but I agree right now. But I have people that are not at the 0%, they're in between there, they're less than 10, they're at the 0, they're not 0, and they put a lot of effort this year in. I can name many, many ways that they have, but they just haven't been able to make the calls. They've been up here, they're doing things, and they're frustrated, and I don't want to see that person go away because I need that person. I need their knowledge, I need their experience. So I get the other side of it, but what I'm looking for right now is if someone can show they've done stuff between now and the whatever deadline is out there in the future, then that's, like I said, I know that it may not be able to do that because we discussed it, it is what it is, so, but at least trying to just help out the people that I serve. So,
Thank you for taking on that responsibility.
yeah, it'll be fun.
It's a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
Is that the word, collaborative?
It'll work.
So anyways, but that was my training summary, like I said, just looking for the active members, and you'll see very soon, as soon as I can figure out a night to do the bylaw meeting, that might be, I will try my best to make that happen. I'm done. Any questions?
Okay, long-term planning.
Long-term planning did not meet this month because a whole bunch of things came up that week. It was going to be January 12th. That chief, the other chief, they all said they could make the 12th. We'll see what we can do, possibly the 5th. So I'll keep those, advised. It'll be the 5th or the 12th. That's it.
New truck committee, Diane.
I'm going to hand that over to Mark. I've given him all my notes, and he is now working on that.
For the new truck, that's still on schedule. We haven't had any information or any contact, so that's still going as planned. On Rescue 1, I have had a couple of correspondence regarding Rescue 1, one from New Jersey. I emailed them back, never got back to me. I got another one from a gentleman down in Texas, from a department in Texas. I sent an email, he contacted me, we discussed some few things about it. He asked for the service records, I emailed him a copy of the service records. He looks interested in it. We talked about the price. He understands it's at $50,000 for the price. For them, unfortunately, anything over $50,000, they have to put out to bid.
We could go 49.9.
That was what he was asking. He said, would you be interested in 48.5 or 49? And I said, I'll take your information back to the body for tonight. We'll discuss it, and then I would contact him again tomorrow. He said if the price is within reason for him, they would send 2 people, representatives up, fly 2 people up, take a look at it, and possibly write us a check right then, if they come up and take a look at it. So, with your permission, if you would like, I can contact him again with the new price, if we come up with a price that we would agree on, and I can call him back tomorrow. Again, he was looking at 48.5. At least that was an offer. That first time we probably had an offer in a long time on this truck. But I leave it up to the body if they would like me to pursue.
Could we agree that we would accept the offer of 48.5, but we'll go down to 45 if necessary?
That's, sure, that's up to you.
Just don't tell them that up
No,
front.
no, I'll let him negotiate with me.
Yeah.
So,
But he won't know what
right, what we discussed, correct.
Unless he watches PAC-B.
And we break for a commercial.
Edit that tape.
hold off on publishing.
But I can contact him again. They're looking, he says that base truck, he asked why we were getting rid of it. And I told him we were consolidating, going into a rescue pumper situation. He says, okay. And he says from the photos that he saw, it's something that they're interested in.
The tool is included.
The tool is included. I told him that the amount will be
They're
included.
interested in that. I mean,
Yep, yep. So I told him I will reach out to him tomorrow.
Does somebody want to make that motion?
Mark just did, I seconded.
Oh, okay, Mark made the motion, Charlie second. Did you get Amy the motion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. That'll be good. Nothing on engine 21?
Nothing on engine 21. Yep.
Thank you.
You may want to, when you wave goodbye to this one, keep in mind you got 2 others to sell. So, and while they're still on the road, it's easier to sell.
So I'll call him tomorrow.
License to public safety, or anything more, Mark?
That is it on engines and apparatus.
License to public safety?
We had met on November 9th, and modified the SOGs, bylaws, whatever SOGs on the squad or EMS 91 and engine 91, and that's going out to the department chiefs for their approval. And good discussion on that. A lot of positive activity took place on that. Good, very good meeting, good turnout. Next meeting is the 21st of January. We were trying to have it on the 16th, but I guess we couldn't. Mike seemed to have that date all tied up. So anyways, January 21st, 7 o'clock. It's going to be at Phoenix Fire Department.
Well, didn't we change our meeting to the 23rd? Well, let's get the right one here.
I put on new business to make sure that we all agree on the new dates.
Yeah, December 23rd, January 6th. Did we change our,
It's under new business.
yeah, okay. Tuesday, January 28th. So the 21st is available for licensing to public safety.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep. You have that.
all right, sorry, confusion. Okay. Anything more?
That's it for now. Thank you.
Budget and finance, I distributed to each of you before the meeting a description about a retirement contribution reserve fund because our retirement contributions are escalating now with the paid staff. And I'm not asking that we do anything about that tonight, just that you digest that, and perhaps we could address it at the year-end business meeting. Mike, do you have something?
Yep, if you're set with that.
Oh, budgets, okay. Then we get the first one. Okay, IT committee.
Nothing on IT. So no.
Okay, then personnel. Mike?
Got a couple of items here. Let me see here. I'm going to touch a little bit with Chief Milk here was talking about with memberships and how you're classifying and stuff. And whoever your membership committee is, when you're doing interviews, because the department has changed, we may have something coming up this time around where we have an out-of-district member that will never make a fire truck. So you should advise them that ahead of time. You know, and the department needs to figure out, you know, what you're going to do. You know, don't get their hopes all up and they'll never be on a fire truck. Let them know what's going on. I know other departments, they have the people strictly do duty crews. That's the only way they can do it. I don't know if your membership's gotten that far.
And hence, that's what the conversation was before. If we can get to the duty shifts, not a duty crew, but a duty shift, then that may solve some of that and give an opportunity for not a district member to make a difference in our community.
Yep.
I will also tell you too that the Chief Gleason wishes to have a chief on every membership interview now. So that was added to our responsibilities. None are scheduled on the 12th.
And with that, if I may speak for the commissioners, every time that you approve somebody by your body, you present them to us. And we're given a name. And we're blindly voting on this individual. Could we, I guess I'd like to make a request to your membership committee. Can you forward the application just so we have an idea of who we're voting on? It happened this time around. That works good. We can review it and see the background versus the membership said yes. And one of the 5 up here says, did they even do some sort of background on this individual? They should never have gotten here.
The new board has already discussed membership process to make it better for you and also more efficient, quicker for the applicant. And also, like I said, the chief also said he wants the chief involved in it. And some of those questions, because our membership process right now, the questions we ask are from a volunteer department, not a combination department. We're going back and trying to update the questions that are asked so they're more pertinent to what's going on for the member and for us, so we can make sure that there's no wrong information given or you know, misconception about how they can help and serve.
Let me see. Maybe Michelle. There's many exams out there. If you wanted to be a paid firefighter, because of COVID, everybody's having a test. So they're out there. If that's what you wanted to do, sign up. Let me see. I'm going to be in the process of helping write the battalion chief's position that we have. It's in our handbook. But the other 3 combination departments are going to implement it. So I'm going to make sure we at least have our input on it too, so I'll be part of that at least.
Deputy chief or battalion chief?
Battalion chief.
I didn't see battalion chief in your handbook, I saw deputy chief.
I think it's in there. There was discussion.
Deputy chief is there, battalion chief is
Is not.
in the handbook.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It was going to be originally, because it was more, if all the assistant chiefs walked away, now you got somebody that works the street level. But again, weren't going to be filled, just they're there. So we're working on that, just so the paperwork, everything's done ahead of schedule. And for personnel, the membership has provided us 1 less assistant chief this year. I believe the chief has mentioned that the workload is overwhelming, and we need to consider as a board possibly a deputy chief or two. That would be it for personnel.
Any questions, Mike? Truck maintenance.
Man, that goes right back to me. All right, ladder one, we got 6 new tires on it today. While they were doing it, the one that blew out, there was a seal that went bad on the hub and it lost the grease. They were able to get a new seal, silicone it, repack it. They're gonna let it set overnight and hopefully it'll be back in service tomorrow. Vehicles, car 1, 2, squad 1, squad 2, and Luke's vehicle all had their oil changed. Luke's vehicle also had, I'm going fast because this is a repeat from earlier. M6, Luke's vehicle also got a new battery and tie rods. Rescue 2 got new batteries, and we put on some new balloons, new snow tires for car 1. Kept his other one so they can go back on in the summer. That's it for truck maintenance.
Building maintenance, Charlie.
Well, while we're on the subject of oil changes and that sort of thing, generator here at Station 1 had oil filter changed on it, had a slight fuel leak from the fuel filter. Fuel filter was replaced. On further inspection, found lift pump seals that are leaking, so they're replacing the lift pump and the little crush seals that go along with that. Heater here, one of the pump motors went bad on the heater again, so we replaced that. A couple of the heaters out in the bays, they were turned off up above. Don't know if they didn't get turned back. There was one here and one over headquarters. Did get turned back on when they were doing maintenance on it, so those have been rectified as far as that goes. I think that's it.
Somebody told me, and I forgot to mention it, that the ladies' room was really cold. Maybe this day of Christmas party, I believe. Christmas party, maybe. The ladies' restroom was really cold.
So the heat for both the women's room and the men's room comes from the heating unit that's in the closet right there. The complaint originally was the heat in the men's room was extremely high, so they dropped down the demand for the heat, and when they did, they went down a little bit too low, so they brought it up somewhere in between. So it's always going to be warmer in there than it is over there, but our main priority is to make sure that the closet stays warm where all of the water is in there for the sprinklers.
Questions? Charlie? Steering committee, Diane?
There was their last this month, so nothing like that.
Fire prevention, Mark?
No report.
New business. We exchanged some emails to change the January and February meeting dates to January 28th and February 24th. So everyone agreed to that, so can we have a motion to do that formally? Mark?
So I'll second.
Charlie? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have membership applications. We have 2. One is out-of-district active member application for Donald Della Vella. This is out-of-district. And are there questions? We kind of discussed this a little bit already, and obviously in his interview he was told about duty crews and
Yeah, so he is a nurse at St. Joe's in the intensive care area, and he works nights. He'd like to be an exterior/driver here. He can come here and sit and hang out with the career staff and go with them during the day. His name was mentioned during the meeting, and actually David Catalino spoke up for him, said he's an excellent IC nurse and an excellent member, or as for their.
He may, he has been an EMT, and he may,
That is correct. He may think about going back, but he's working nights. But yeah, he was a 9-year member of Liverpool. I believe he lives right off of John Glenn, so so he's close to our border. But his intention is to come when he can during the day and hang out with the guys and drive.
any questions? Motion? Charlie?
I'll make the motion, Mike seconds.
Mike seconds the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Then we have John Pickard. And he lives in the district and has fire department experience. And any discussion about that?
I'll make the motion.
Charlie makes the motion.
I'll second. Did he say what level he'd like to be?
He needs to stay at exterior. He's a driver. He'd like to stay at exterior. So he was at one point. He has, if you'd have seen all his application, he attached a bunch of his certifications. He was a Vivo guy back in the day, and then moved out of the area. Then moved to Portland and came back here. So he has quite a few classes from previous. And he's a driver. He's a CDL driver during the day, his normal job. So he's looking to be a driver. And he's in Station 2 area.
I mean, you always say, I mean, if you can be interior, you can do anything.
Unfortunately, not on this one.
Right, that's why I always ask, you know, if membership says, hey, you can just drive, we're going to eventually just be drivers.
Yeah, I can answer that question with just one-on-one. I can answer that for you, Bo.
No, I guess that's a blanket statement for the membership committee.
And I encourage people to try and keep on moving up, as I would call it, but
Yep.
this situation would not be possible.
And providing that information this time around, I think was very helpful. You know, it saved, we had it a few months ago where we had to ask Tommy a question and he had to come back with it. So.
Floor, there we go. In favor? Opposed? Also, business, I wanted to thank Diane for her service on the board for the past 5 years. Thank you, Diane. Thank you. Any other new business from the board? Are there any public comments? Mike, did you want to make a motion for executive session?
Yep. To discuss the resume and employment history of an individual which may lead to his or her employment.
I made that motion. Is there a second?
There.
I'll second. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, so we'll move to executive session. It is possible that we will have business afterwards, but we don't